This is the hardest question you're probably going to have to think about. So, guys, I have a hard question for a lot of people. I've asked this on Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival's live stream about 2 weeks ago. And it's a question that I come across because now that I'm into prepping, I guess, a lot more, right? So I've been doing this 12, 13 years, maybe 14 years now. And there's one question that's been like eating at me for a while I wanted to ask. And the question is, will you take another person's life for survival, for food, for whatever gear they might have that you need? Would you be able to disrupt somebody else's life in a hard manner of taking that person's life for something that you need that they have? Now, I asked this question because I even asked it to myself, and I'm like, what would I do? Now, in the movies, they always make it seem, or they always give you the other person having something being the bad guy, so that it was easy for that person to take that item, whatever it was needed, from that person because they were bad. It's always that way, and they seemingly never go the hard route. Now, The Walking Dead went that way for a little bit, and it was interesting, but they made you believe that the other person was bad, even though the other group wasn't, right? Because everybody's doing the same thing, trying to survive. But you know deep in your heart that this is something you need, and this person turns you down. But your kids are starving. They're cold. They need somewhere to stay. What are you willing to do, and how far are you willing to go to make sure your kids are squared away? Now, I asked that question, and I said, well, if I'm by myself, I'll make do. I'll move on. I'll keep searching. But with my kids, no one really knows that answer because no one's really watched their kids starve. And that is a game changer. Sitting here and trying to contemplate what exactly you're going to do, you don't know. Now, I would, in my head, hope that I wouldn't go down that road, that I would ask, at the very least ask, and if they told me no, we would move on. But again, being in that position and watching your loved one starve, what are you willing to do? This, guys, it's just a question, and a lot of people are going to sit there and, in the comment section, they're going to probably write, I'm going to do what I have to do to make sure my kids survive. But then that doesn't separate you from the evil that's out there. If you're committing an evil act, but trying to put it in the way of, it's for my kids. Because if your kids watch you do this, which, if you do this, make sure your kids are not there. Make sure it's done where no one else can see you doing this, including your wife. But a lot of people are going to write, I'm going to do what I have to do to make sure my kids survive. That makes you part of the savage group. It's why when I asked myself this question, I was like, but if I do that, if I kill somebody or off somebody to take their supplies, I'm no better than the marauders that I'm trying to protect myself from. So then I'm like, would I do it? And my answer was no. But then watching your kids starve, watching them suffer, could you sit through that? That is the question I have for everybody out there. And please, if you're going to leave an answer, don't make it a fucking thesis or an essay or anything like that. Just keep it like a paragraph long. I want to try to read as many as I can. But for those of you that are going to put a fucking thesis, I'm not going to read it. So just know that. But, and maybe other people will read it. It's not necessarily even a comment. It's for me to read. It's also for other people to read. But try to fucking be, don't be a nerd and break out fucking schematics and shit and writing an essay. It's not necessary. A paragraph or sentence or two is fine. So, guys, again, what are you willing to do? And what are you willing to take? Are you willing to take it all, or are you willing to take just what you need? If you wind up offing this person, you probably wind up going to take everything. But if you only need food and some water, do you just take that and leave everything behind? You see, again, so this is a question that everybody should be seriously asking themselves. And not some movie bullshit. Not some, well, if they're bad, I'll do. No. Not everybody's going to be bad. Yes, if you can identify the bad person, absolutely go after it. But if this person's not bad and you know that there's no other home or no other area within 100 miles of where you are and there is food, water, and safety, what are you willing to do for your kids and your wife, or just your family in general? Now, for yourself, I think a lot of us we can push on. We could make it. But again, and that's for us to starve to death or whatever it is. But when it comes to kids, what is your course of action? All right, guys, other than that, this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching.